What's up, everyone? Welcome to Mystic Mind Shrine, where we believe the earth is flat and we play stun decks, control decks, rogue decks, and pretty much crazy off-the-wall stuff. We're not meta sheep here. So this is my Mystic Mind deck profile. I got top 8 at a case tournament with this deck. I was 3rd after Swiss. I revamped it a lot since the last time, so let's show you what I'm working with today. 3 Silent Wabi to start off. I switched from DD Guide to this. I don't like that I did that. I actually do prefer DD Guide for a number of reasons that I said in my last deck profile. However, the main reason we went to Wabi is because we had to add Planet Pathfinder for consistency. And Planet Pathfinder uses your normal summon, and DD Guide also uses your normal summon. So just to make the deck run more smoothly and be more consistent, we went with this package over DD Guide. It was fine. I did miss Guide. I might switch back to him, but I just don't know. And then we played 1 Cyberstein's Last Monster. This card's pretty dumb. Like, it just adds a whole another layer of consistency to the deck, because like if you don't open mine, sometimes you just open this and then you make Last Warrior and that's game right there. Or you can stack it. Like if you go Last Warrior and then you put mine and Field Barrier on the field, that's pretty much an unbreakable board. Your opponent just has to open a ridiculous combination of cards to break that. So that's it was nice. This card won me a game, actually. Straight up, just bringing a Last Warrior won me a game. I wouldn't cut it. I like it. And then one final countdown. That's one of our win cons. I did resolve it in the case tournament. We've main decked the 1 Feather Duster because of Eldritch and you know, people setting cards that would deal with Mystic Mind, like Dynamiscus, random stuff like that. I play it in the main deck. It really throws people off. They don't expect it, and it's the best thing you can possibly have if your opponent sets 5 back row and passes turn. Play 1 Call By. A lot of people don't play this in Mystic Mind because they're like, well, what's the point? The point is, this card's just broken. This card is just ridiculously strong. It actually won me a game also because I called by someone's DPE before slapping mine on the field. This card's good going first, it's good going second. There's no reason not to play it, even in Mystic Mine. 1 Card Demise, broken. What is there to say about Card Demise? Terraforming, busted. Then we're still playing the set rotation package with Oracle of Zephyra. You give your opponent this card, and they can't activate it unless they're playing Zephyras, which I'm not particularly worried about. And as for this, is just another copy of Mystic Mine, which the deck really loves. And this package worked out great, locking your opponent out of their field spell, so that even if they do, you know, manage to get somewhere, they're not going to get far because their field spell is disabled. So I love this package; really works out very well for me. A little bit of spice. Mystic Mine. It's the deck. It's the name of the channel. Best deck, best channel. Let's go. 3 extra for draw power and 3 duality to back it up. I don't have prosperity, maybe when that card drops in price, but at the same time I kind of like drawing 2, so draw package along with the 1 Demise. And then we main deck triple Dark Ruler because you gotta have to go second sometimes, and this plus Mystic Mine, that breaks the board. It was really good in the main. And we play triple Demise the land. People do try to play around this card by not special summoning as much as they possibly can, but this win condition for my deck that I play makes it so I'll never deck out. So, alright, don't special summon, you know, doesn't bother me. I'm going to just deck you out. And so usually even good players do play into this card eventually because they know that you're just going to stall them out. Just more copies of mine. 3 Field Barrier. When you slap down this card with mine and a Judgment, that's just an FTK. This card's very good. It's a little worse now because the Brave Engine like can still bounce your mine and then you'd be locked from your own mine. The Brave Engine was more of a problem than I anticipated for this deck in the case tournament. So in the future we will be playing some more cards to counter that. But Field Barrier, it worked pretty well. It didn't trip me up at all. Triple Judgment, you know, it's Judgment. Protect the mine. And then basically 3 more copies of Judgment, you know. Sometimes Dark Bribe is better in this deck because you only really care about negating spells or traps, and when you're playing mill, making your opponent draw is not bad. So, card's just as good as Judgment in this deck, honestly. And then the last 2 cards in the main are the 1 Metaverse, self-explanatory, And the spicy win condition is Meteor Flare. So this card says you can discard 2 cards to burn your opponent for 2,000. That's cool, but we really just care about the other effect, which is that if this card's in your graveyard, when you get to your draw phase, you can just add this card to your hand instead of drawing. So this is your win condition. It's just to make you not deck out. Usually people scoop before you get to that point, but every once in a while someone will say cards in deck, and they want to try and deck you out, and then you just waste 30 minutes of their time, and then you burn them in time with Cauldron in the side. So this is the extra spicy win condition. It didn't really come up because everyone just scooped as soon as I locked them under mine. But it does come up because, like I said, every once in a while someone will want to take the challenge of trying to deck you out, and you just show them this, and they'll scoop pretty much as soon as they see that card resolved. For the extra deck, I honestly didn't have a lot of time to put the extra deck together. If I had more time, I would have put more thoughtful choices into it, but I kind of just worked with what I had. 2 Linkuriboh, again, just filling up space. This is just for like Lost World tokens if someone's still on that. I know my friend plays that deck. Didn't come up. Phoenix, same idea, didn't come up. Double Megaclops for Waking the Dragon. Didn't come up at the tournament, but this card has won me games as a Waking target before, so I'm keeping it in. Goki Giant Ogre, it's just like a Megaclops. It didn't come up, but, you know. This card's kind of power crept. Like, I find myself going into Final or Ultimate Falcon less often than I used to, because Access Code and other cards just beat over this card so easily. But against certain decks, it really is just the ace in the hole. Like Flunderies, this is probably the best thing you can possibly bring out against Flunderies. It didn't come up. Most of the extra deck didn't come up. However, this should be 3 copies. The other one's in my other deck. But 3 copies of Last Warrior. This card won me 2 games. Once from Cyberstein and once from Waking the Dragon. This card is just the best card in the extra deck. It's an insane floodgate. It's just... I'm surprised this card's still legal, honestly. Exterio didn't come up, but against the right deck, it's an FTK. Alternative. This is mostly for like Cyberstein, like going second. Like your opponent negates all your stuff, and then you just have Cyberstein left, and then you normal summon it, and you go this, and then you just beat over their stuff, and you know that's the idea. And then 2 Synchros. This is basically like a Towers. This is a funny burn card. This card can close out games. Didn't come up, but, you know, it's Mystic Mine. The extra deck doesn't come up that much. And then the side deck, triple Mono Wado. This card breaks boards. It's just more copies of Dark Ruler, basically. I don't play it in the main deck because I really don't think this card's good going first. I've tried to play with this card, like you put mine and then you put a mono and he stays on the field, but it feels like the board gets broken too easily because, you know, mine just pops itself at the end phase once they put a monster. But it's good for breaking boards. And we side the 2 Cauldron. This is the only burn cards we play. This is not Mystic Mine Burn. This is Mystic Mine Mill. And the idea is to side this in and make your opponent waste a lot of time game 1 by trying to deck you out. And then when there's like 5 minutes left, we just put this in and burn them in time. I played 2 Prohibition in the side. A lot of people main this at 3. I don't know what to call going blind first besides like Cosmic and stuff like that, and I don't think that's really that great to blind call that. So we like to wait to see what our opponent's playing, and then we side in 2 copies. Whenever I play 3 copies of this card, I always end up drawing it and nothing else, so I've actually really liked it at 2. It just feels like the sweet spot at 2. You can disagree if you want, but that's my personal experience. And then 2 Cosmic. We're going to bump this up to 3. We might have to main deck this card just because the equip spell with the Brave Engine, the Draco back, is such a problem for mine. I wasn't anticipating the Brave Engine to take up as much slots as it did. So I did drop 1 game to that equip spell. So we're definitely considering maining 3 copies of this just to deal with that, because that's probably the biggest issue in the format. With I don't really want to have to main deck Cosmic Cyclone, but I guess that's how it feels to play against this deck. You don't want to have to main Cosmic Cyclone, but this deck kind of makes you, so be a hypocrite if I didn't understand. 2 Iron Wall on the side. This card's really good. Stops the Cosmics. Stops the Evenlies. Really good card. Great in this deck. We played 1 Waking the Dragon. We don't play this card so much as for what it is. but more so the mind games surrounding it. Like, I don't really want to see this card. I just want my opponent to know that I play it to some capacity, just to screw with their head. But the funny thing is, this card straight up won me a match that I otherwise would have lost, because it was game 3, and my opponent opened Red Reboot and Feather Duster, and he Feather Duster rebooted my back row, and I set Waking the Dragon from deck off the reboot. My board was crap. Like, even if he didn't break that board, I was probably going to lose because all my back row was worthless. So he basically just gave me the game by letting me set this off reboot, and I brought out Last Warrior. That was it. He sided out all his droplets and everything, so Last Warrior just beat him down. And then the last card we play in the deck is Triple Evenly Matched. It didn't really come up, but, you know, break a bunch of Eldritch back row is the idea. I want to talk about one more thing that I forgot to address. So I don't play Goddess Skuld Oracle, and I don't play, what's the card? Left Arm Offering. So the reason I don't play those cards is, with Skuld Oracle, I feel like that card doesn't do anything for your board. Like, it's not Field Barrier. Like, if you draw just Mine and Skuld Oracle, you don't have a board. You just have to pass turn, because Mine's not going to protect itself. And I also don't like the fact that, like, okay, let's say you put Mine and Skuld Oracle down, and then your opponent just Cosmics Mines right off the bat. Like, I would much rather have a hard negate, like, you know, Judgment and Bribe, than to put Skuld Oracle down and just delay the inevitable, because I can see what cards are coming up from my opponent's deck. Like, if they have a Twin Twisters or a Cosmic, I can see that coming ahead of time. But if I don't draw a negate, then it's not going to matter, you know. So it's just delaying the inevitable. So I don't like Skuld Oracle. I'd much rather just play more Bribes and Judgments and Barriers. And as for Left Arm Offering, the deck as I built it has enough consistency, and I feel like with that card, you're kind of trading. It's high risk, high reward for, really it's high risk, low reward, because you don't really need that extra consistency in my build. And to have to throw your whole hand away, play into Ash really badly, because if they Ash you, it is cost to banish your whole hand, and you still can't set cards. Like, I don't like that card at all. I don't think that it's necessary. So that's the deck, and that's my reasoning for my spicy little choices and cards I do play, cards I don't play. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Mystic Mind Shrine. The Earth is flat. Keep it stun. Stun best deck. Mystic Mind best card. Mystic Mind best deck. The Earth is flat. Keep the tinfoil hats.